Hey, what's up? I'm Adam from The Reason, and here's my interview on Gibson.com.
So we're here at Toronto Show with Adam from The Reason. How's it going?
Pretty good. Pretty good. Stuff's getting busy again, finally. Had a long little time off, but we have a new record coming out really soon. So
What is the date?
August 24th is the release date.
And the single's blowing up already.
It's doing okay. Yeah, we did a video for it, and some radio stations are picking it up, and got a lot of good feedback. So yeah, it's exciting.
So it was like, I'm trying to get my math right, but almost 2 years in between records, right?
3.
Oh, I missed a year.
Our last one was out in 07, and then we actually recorded this one in 08 with the anticipation of it coming out very early 09, and it's just been a long music business stuff, legal stuff, and all stuff that like takes away from the rock and roll sort of, and it's been very frustrating. And now it's over, and we're finally getting the record out.
So you're finally getting out there to be able to play it, like out there touring,
Yeah, like we've been doing random shows here and there, and like, festivals and stuff, but no real touring, no real we've been sitting on the record, like playing it 3 times a week in our rehearsal space, and doing a show here, a show there, throwing new songs in, but like we've never fully been able to like share the songs with people and let them hear the recording, all the work we did into it. So it's really exciting to be able to finally have this, have it to share with people.
So is it a little strange, like a question, since it was recorded in that period of time, does it feel like old material?
So to us, it's like, with our last record, we recorded it and released it like 3 months after. So we were still almost, you do some things in the studio that you have to like kind of rework the song to play live after. And we were like really green on like, we're going on tour. We felt not really fully comfortable with those songs, but now it's like, we're ready to go. Like we could play this whole album like start to finish, like seamlessly, and we know exactly what we're doing. It doesn't feel like old songs when you play live because there's all these, the reaction from the crowd is like they're hearing a new song, you know what I mean? So they're not really old until they're old to them, I guess. I love all our songs. I can play songs from like our first record and still get excited about it,
And you guys went to hold yourself up for a period of time too.
Yeah, we recorded the album in North Carolina, and at a studio called Echo Mountain Recording Studio. It's an old church that was like hollowed out and like made into like total state-of-the-art studio, and they had like the biggest collection of vintage gear that I've ever seen in a studio, and it was just all at our disposal. So we were there, we did 6 days a week, and then we had a day off, and we all lived in a house like 5-minute walk from the studio that was owned by the studio, and it was just for the band, and we lived there with the producer, Steven Hagler, who, he like more than any of us like breathed and lived that record for the whole time we were there. Like he was like almost like a father figure, like making sure we were up in the morning, making sure we got enough sleep. He'd be in the control room from 11 a.m. every day until like 9-10 p.m. at night with like a 20-minute, he'd leave to eat, you know what I mean? And he'd get your ass in here, let's get this done. And he just knew what to do. Like if there was ever sometimes we'd go through 20 different guitars and amps to like get the right sound for a part, and sometimes we'd get it on like the second try or the first try, and he would know. And we, by the 20th setting change, we're just like, we don't even know what we're hearing anymore, and he would just be like, that's it right there, and we just trusted him. And that was the good thing about him working with that producer.
And I guess doing it in that sort of boot camp style almost, where you've gone to the army and staying together, and it really is an experience where most times you go in the studio, you come out, you go back in, you come out. This, you had to live and breathe it the whole time.
Yeah, for like a full month, very far away from home in a town no one had ever been to before. We didn't really know anybody. And like, it was a small town and anywhere we go, like, people would, recognize us as like, word got around that there was these Canadians in town, so they'd call us the Canadians, and you know what I mean? Like, everyone would see us walking around as like a gang, and we got to know a lot of people in the town, and it was really, we didn't want to leave when we were done, you know what I mean? Whereas like on our last record, we'd be recording at these like industrial park studios in Toronto, driving in on the QE every day, you know, getting caught in traffic, you know, recording until, you know, just after rush hour, sitting in traffic on the way home, and, you know, oh, this guy doesn't have to record today, he's gonna go take a shift at his job. It's like we weren't really focused, whereas this time it was like, we did the week of pre-production in Hamilton where our producer flew up, and we did a week, and then 2 weeks later we were in North Carolina doing the record, and it was just, I think that's how it should be done. That's how everyone used to do it, I think. You know what I mean? Like you hear stories about when Fleetwood Mac recorded and Zeppelin recorded and stuff like that, and it seems like they just go off in the woods and like come back with a record, you know? And that's kind of how it felt for us. But then we had to sit around for a year and a half while our stuff got figured out.
But now it's coming out.
Yeah.
It must be really exciting. What are the tour plans?
We're doing some festivals and stuff this summer, and we're looking to head out, you know, in the September, October on some support slots for some bigger stuff, hopefully.
Nice. So we're going to see a lot of them. You're probably going to see a lot of them in 2011 too.
Oh yeah, like we did, we recorded the video for The Longest Highway Home, and we recorded 2 more videos in like 3 in 3 days with this director, and we've been doing all this stuff over the past year, kind of getting ready, so we have all this extra stuff to like show people online. We did a acoustic session at the Woodshed studio that Blue Rodeo has, and the videos for that are all starting to come out, and we just have all this stuff that we want to show people that we can finally like slowly, here, check this thing, here, check this thing, you know? It's a year old to us, but it's still new to you, you know?
It doesn't have an expiration date.
No.
So you brought along something very beautiful.
Oh yeah, my guy. This is my guitar that I have. My first guitar was an Ibanez, and I was in like, you know, grade 8, grade 9. My dad got that one for me, and then he's like, it's time to go get you a real guitar. There's this guitar show in Detroit that we went to. He's like, we're gonna get you a real guitar. It's that time. We're gonna get you a Gibson. I'm like, all right. So I brought my Ibanez and traded it in for this thing, which is the SG. It was made in 1979. And it's sort of like a lower end Gibson for the time, in terms of the way it was made and the quality of the parts and all that. It was made for like people to be able to afford it that couldn't necessarily afford like a brand new SG in 79. So I got it for like $500, and I've been playing it since like 97. And yeah, I don't know. It's a guy, we use it on like every recording as like the main rhythm guitar usually. It feels amazing. Anyone with like, you know, I've known guys that like, you know, own like $10,000 like Les Pauls that they're like, let me see that, and I'm like, oh yeah, this is so smooth. And I don't know, it just always works. Doesn't really go out of tune, and you know, have fun. It's just comfortable, you know, you get into that thing where it's comfortable. And I've dropped it and thrown it, and it's never really broken on me, so I don't know, it's great.
It is. It's awesome. And, you know, like I said to you earlier, yet next year's, you know, the 50th anniversary of the SG.
Yeah.
So, I mean, that's a really cool guitar to look at, considering going, you know, next year they're going to celebrate 50 years.
Yeah.
50 years of the SG.
Yeah. Yeah, that's crazy. And I don't know, I probably couldn't get much for it if I tried to sell it because of the cosmetic damage, but I don't think I'm ever going to get rid of this thing.
No.
It's one of those ones, you know. My dad has this ES 175 from like the early 70s that he's just kept immaculate, and I think it was one of those things where he could probably get, you know, thousands and thousands of dollars for it. He can't play guitar anymore because of arthritis, but he was like, here, you use it, so I got to use that on the record. But I think this is going to be that guitar that, you know, when I'm like 55, 60, I can be like, here kid, it's your turn, you know, or something like that. So yeah, it's good to be here in Gibson all the way.